Hello, I'm Pastor Carlos King, and this is 5 Minutes with Pastor King. We've been looking at 2 Corinthians, the 10th chapter, in verse 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war according to the flesh. And verse 4 says, For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty in God for the pulling down of strongholds. And what I want you to understand today is that there's a spiritual war going around us all the time. And I've shared quite a bit about that in the past, and I'll share another story about it. I remember a young woman in my church in Shelbyville. She came to me, and she was suffering post-traumatic stress syndrome. On the property that her family had a mobile home park, and a family was murdered there. As a matter of fact, it was her best friends that were murdered there. And she went into the trailer just moments after this murder had occurred. A man she had known her entire life had been killed by a shotgun in an Easy Boy. The mother she had known her entire life was in the hallway dead. Her best friend was on a bed in the bedroom killed, and then the former husband had shot himself. And because this was a new trailer that her family had bought and had rented, she had to go in there herself instead of paying professional cleaners and clean all that blood up, soaking their blood out of the carpet and wiping it down from the walls and everything else. Well, this left her with a post-traumatic stress syndrome. Not only that, but their son was very ill and almost died many times. And so she was under a lot of stress. She came to me and said, Pastor King, I'm suicidal, I'm depressed, I'm, sometimes even homicidal. And I said, well, you're in a spiritual warfare. I said, these demonic spirits are trying to torment you and destroy you. I said, what kind of music do you listen to mostly? And she said, well, I like country music. Well, I'll have to admit I like country music too. But I don't have a steady diet of country music. I have a steady diet of praise and worship. 90% of what I listen to is praise and worship music because it creates a spiritual atmosphere around you. Then I told her, you need to turn the country music off for a while. You can listen to it every now and then. But I said, you need to get good Christian music and you need to turn it on all the time. I said, when you leave the house, put your Christian music on. When you're driving your car, put your Christian music on. When you're at work, have your Christian music playing. I said, surround the atmosphere, the spiritual atmosphere, with praise and worship. You see, demons cannot take praise and worship of God. So she began to do that, and it literally transformed her entire being. It changed her completely. She went from depressed and suicidal to someone with joy and was able to function and able to work. And I've told our church to do that. I've told our church members, and talked to a family just last night that said, we've done that. We've turned K-Love on in our house now all the time. It's on when we go to bed. It's on when we get up. It's on when we're gone. And they have several dogs that are in their house. And they said, even the dogs are behaving better. And they said not only that, but they can really sense a change in the atmosphere of where they're at. Friends, there's a spiritual atmosphere around you and myself. There's warfare going on in the heavens and warfare going on all around us. You don't need to be a victim of that warfare. You've got to choose a side. Choose this day whom you will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And if you choose to be victorious in this spiritual warfare instead of a victim of this spiritual warfare, you need to pick the winning side. And I'm here to tell you that the winning side is God, and God is for you, not against you. And the weapons of your warfare are not worldly, but they're spiritual. And with that, you can pull down strongholds. Strongholds are these things that the devil has put in your mind, like depression, like despair, like suicide. And they become strongholds. And it takes the power of God to pull these strongholds down. So my prayer for you today is that you'll choose the winning side and take up the weapons of God and pull down all the strongholds of the enemy in your life. Have a blessed day.